In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Hello, viewers around the world. You are welcome to Schengen Story Wednesday update. My name is Mark Godwin Iwejuwa, and I'm talking all the way from Milan, Italy. Yes, joining us as usual in this program, our coordinators and partners. Far away Lagos, Nigeria is our man, Olayinka Raji. Olayinka Raji, you're welcome to Wednesday Global Africa update.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, viewers around the world. I'm glad to be here today again.
Yes, it's good to see you. So I hope Lagos is doing fine today. How is the weather? How is Go ahead.
The weather is cool. Rains have been scanty for some time. The weather is cool. All is dandy. Yes.
All is dandy. Okay.
Cool and
so
dandy.
For now, it's me and you here, and
okay.
We need to yes. So viewers, you're welcome. Like we say, in a world where news fly around every minute, you need the ability to relate, to connect with what matters, and stay up to date. So Schengen Story Media, it's a network for diaspora, Nigerians in diaspora and Nigerians back home, an English network where we give all the current affairs as it affects us, Africans. So you're welcome, Raji. Raji, let's do some follow-up news. The collapsed building in Jos Plateau, the school collapsed building, the finding yesterday says that the building was deficit. The building had some issues. It wasn't standing properly, it wasn't constructed well, and that cost the 22 people and the 132 people that were injured and the 22 people that died, that caused the tragedy. So how do we have buildings that are not well constructed and they still, probably somebody still certified it okay and made it a school building? Now it has killed innocent children. I thought there are agencies that look into construction, more importantly, public construction. Raji, what's happening?
Now, you see that again, my condolences to the children who lost their lives. My condolences to their families. These are children with bright future whose future have been cut short by some shoddy building contractor. Now it's very sorry. It's a very pathetic situation. Now you have to notice that it was not a public school; it's a private school.
Okay.
It's a private school, and private schools just take any building and then put their logo on it. There are local educational ministry people who come around to certify the building, to certify its availability as a school, to be able to look at it. But then all these things are sometimes influenced by some corrupt practices, so that where they have to do diligence, they don't apply that due diligence to the, because a school, a building like that was not built to carry a dead load of up to 100 people at a time, and therefore it shouldn't have been allowed as a school.
It shouldn't have been allowed as a school.
If it's going to be used as a residence, that's different, because then there are times when you don't have a maximum load of people in that place. You can't have more than 10 people in that building, in that flat at a time. But with a population of 20 people, 20 children on that place as a constant load, that put a lot of pressure on the structure. Yes, it's very, very unfortunate.
It's very, very unfortunate, Raji. Thank you very much. So, viewers, that's it. The finding says the building was not, it didn't reach up to standard, and that caused that very tragic situation there. 132 people are presently in hospital, and 22 children gone. It's a sad one. So the Plateau state government has also declared 3 days of mourning for all those that passed away. But 3 days of mourning, yes, it's okay, official way of mourning, but it's a sad thing that we have there. So, but while we're still talking this, let's bring in our man, Sir George Chukwu from Toronto, Canada. Sir George, you're welcome to SSM Wednesday Global Africa. Okay, I think you need to set up the audio, Sir George. It's okay. So let's go on, Raji. Also, some follow-up news. Last time we were talking about food shortage. George was saying the government needs to look into more food distribution. So yesterday, the Nigerian government said they are distributing 740 trucks of rice to all the 36 states plus Abuja. This was done, the announcement was given by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Ahmed Idris. Ahmed Idris says that government is sending trucks of food. George, let's see if George, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you very loud and clear. So I want to welcome you, viewers from around the world, and Mark Godwin Iwajunwa, our moderator here, and Olayinka Raji. Good morning, sir. Morning. Now, I know you guys were discussing regarding the building that fell.
Yes.
That killed 22 people and several people on the that are in the hospital. Listen, the problem we have in our country is we cry wolf all the time about situations, and that's what we're talking about over here. We deal with bandaging situations rather than going to the root causes of the situation to find out exactly what is really happening. Number one is, if this building fell and they found out that it was defaulted, they have to go to the roots. They have to find out who put that structure together, what amount of money was put together to spend on that, and how much was spent. Because part of the reason why a lot of things are happening is because many people are trying to circumvent and find ways of saving money and making more profit rather than the safety standard that are required to make sure that buildings are well erected according to the standard that are set. So, to just cry out and say, oh, we're going to do this or we're going to do that, and without going to the root cause, it will happen again. Mark my word, it will happen in another state. It will happen in another place. So until they go down and begin to deal with the fundamental issues that are causing these problems, it will not be solved. Because what happens is, okay, money must have been assigned to put this building together. Or maybe if it is a private institution, then somebody must have spent money to do it. What was it? Who signed it from the government? Because somebody must approve that building. Here where I live in North America, there is no way you can put a structure together without government involvement to ensure safety standards are being maintained. So this is such a sad story. We have wiped out a generation of people, 22 young children. One of the Nigerian presidents might have been in that particular hall there that died. And then we're gonna just cry, and then tomorrow we move on. That's it. We need to start making sure that when situations like this happen, it's happening all over Nigeria, that we reinstitute safety standards in putting structures together, ensuring that anybody that wants to, the same way that every time you put something together, you want to do reconstruction, you want to do amendment in your building, you see local government people, they come to ask you for money. Let's ensure also that safety standard is being maintained, and we cannot find easy ways of circumventing that. So it's
We
very, very
cannot find
important.
easy way of circumventing that. Thank you, George. Yes, real pathetic situation there in Jos. Like you said, some of those kids could be anything, anybody. Okay, we'll move on, George. We're talking about what you also said last time, how the government should look more into food distribution, saving hungry people, helping them. So the news yesterday is that Nigerian government is distributing about 740 trucks of rice to 36 states. When we hear this, we think it's some effort anyway. What do you think, George? The Minister of Information was telling us this.
That's another avenue of bandaging situation, right? That rather than dealing with the core issues of the situation, what we're trying to do is to look good. Listen to this. When you come to North America, if you're a basketball lover, you see a lot of basketball people, they want to look good first before they score. And the team members will be angry. You want to score first and look good after. So what you're seeing in Nigeria right now is we are just trying to, make ourselves look good. Oh, we are trying. Oh, we are doing the best we can. But is that really solving the fundamental issues and the problems that we are having in that country?
Okay.
So when you are talking, a lot of people will say, oh, well, you're always complaining about this or complaining about that. But yes, indeed, we have to, because we have to hold our government accountable.
We have to.
They make promises and they came into the scene. APC government is, there are still how many years right now?
A year
We're going to the second part of that 8 years. The 8 years is gone. Another, we're entering into the second part of that 8 years that is going to happen. What are we expecting from them? The same thing we had from the, deplorable or despicable president of the past. Is that what we are looking for? I warned Nigeria. I said, don't bring Buhari here. Buhari was riding on the coattail of Idiabo. He didn't know his left from his right.
Okay.
So he rode on that coattail, and when he came into the government, what did he do for 8 years? The worst president that we have ever had in Nigeria. And now we have Asiwaju. The difference between the two is that Asiwaju is actually reacting to problems.
Okay.
He is reacting to problems.
Okay.
So hopefully he can start responding so that we can solve these issues that are plaguing our people.
Plaguing our country. Anyway, yesterday.
So by the way, the food distribution, by the way, can I say something? Can I say something? By that food distribution, I know he's going to talk right now. I want you to understand that there are so many avenues. During the pandemic, what happened to all the palliatives that were given? It was not distributed. It was used for personal use until people found out where they were holding those food and went in that place and started, taking their, what was provided for them by force. So in this particular one also, you will see that when this food reaches some of those places, which will not even last a day, because in first day, only a handful of the community members will get that food, and the other will be lost. 50% of that food will not be distributed. I can guarantee you that. It will not be distributed. It will be lost along the way.
All right, George. It's all right. Raji, what do you have? The National Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, that was the man we saw there. He gave the press review yesterday that President Bola Ahmed's intervention to help Nigeria is aimed at, would he use the word, aimed at alleviating persisting food crisis. So, yes. What do you want to say, Raji?
I want to recall that when Tinubu first came in, he declared emergency on food security, and he has been there now for more than a year. And all that we are going to do now is to be distributing food. What have we been doing for the first 1 year? In the first 1 year, if concrete steps have been taken to first stop all these herders invading people's farms across the country, especially across the middle belt, which is our food basket. If they have stopped all this invasion of stopping people from going to their farms across the south, which has been on for more than 4 years, before he declared his food insecurity issue, I don't think we'll be in a situation where we, as Sir George will be saying, we'll be applying plaster, we're applying bandage to structural defect of a pillar of a building. So it seems to me that, like a normal balance, the government is just playing. It's just the play. And then the people are just so docile and so timid that everything that the government gives them is what they accept. It is very, very sad. We don't have a government. We just have a group of people just deceiving us every day with body movement, a lot of motion and little movement.
Thank you, Raji. Okay, our viewers, you're hearing it live from us here. This is SSM Wednesday Global Africa update, and we are giving update on all that we've heard, all that is happening in Africa and Nigeria precisely. Gentlemen, there's another story that we gave out last time, and there's a follow-up. The last time it was a House member from Ibadan North Federal Constituency under APC, one Adewale Akinremi, passed away. Now, yesterday, another House member, House of Representatives precisely, has passed away. And we wonder what's happening. Now, that's Ekene Abubakar Adams. He represents the Chigum Kajuri Federal Constituency of Kaduna, and is a member of the LP Labour Party. He passed away yesterday at the age of 39. So you wonder, why are these House members? That's two in just precisely within 2 weeks. 2 House members have gone. Maybe there should be more health check. George, maybe there should be more health check on the House members. I mean, how do you go to represent your people and you're not healthy enough to stay through? I mean, the session just started and they are passing away. George, what do you say?
Well, we cannot put our finger on any particular issue regarding the death, because we don't know his health conditions before he became the House of Rep. We don't know whether there was a pre-existing condition prior to this. He's a very young man. He's very sad. My condolences to the family. And but the problem with that is that we are not used to autopsy in Nigeria. And if the autopsy is done, I don't know how accurate, it is to determine the cause of death. So at least we can, start warning others about some impending situation. There is no telling. I'm not saying that he died because somebody gave him poison or whatever the case might be. I'm not saying that that's a possibility in Nigeria. So, it happens around the world, not only in our country, but it is a sad situation for 2 House members to die just like that. We need to look into it and find out, what is it? Is it high blood pressure? Are they not taking their medication, or are they not able to? They can afford their medication, at least, if that's the case. So we don't know what happened. So until we find out specifically what the situation is, are they similar to one another, or is it different, situations that happen independently from one another, then we can learn from it. But we men ought to take care of ourselves. The man didn't look fat. He didn't look sick. Looked healthy, from the way that the picture showed. But it's very unfortunate, actually. My condolences to the family and to Labour Party also, to losing such a wonderful man.
Yes, Raji, we lost one last week from Ibadan, and now this one from Kaduna. Just 2 weeks, not up to 2 weeks apart. I mean,
yes. Yeah, I echo Sir John's opinion. But my look actually is their replacements. Their replacements. Now, they say there have been court cases where there have been a challenge as to whether the vote cast for a particular for a particular position was for the party or for the person.
Okay.
I remember the case where was it in Rivers State during was it in Rivers State where the court ruled that the position, the vote cast was for the party.
Yes, that's
now this
Rivers State.
yes. Now these two gentlemen were voted in on the basis of their parties to go to the House of Reps. Unfortunately, they are passed out. They are passed on. Is it that and INEC is going to do a by-election to replace them, or that because the votes were for the party will be asked to nominate a person to replace them? I think it's something we should have to look at, because if they went for elections again now, the reasons why they voted for that particular party at that time may not be still present, and therefore the party will have lost that opportunity to represent the people. So I think it's something that we should look at.
Raji, you see what you've just said should go viral, because you just point out something, some of what lapses, oversights that INEC, that our political structure probably don't look into. So this should go viral. You just brought out something very important, and I want to thank you for that. So we'll find the network, will find how to make this go viral, and hear what should be the solution. There should be a solution to this, or else those constituents, Ibadan and Kaduna, could be shortchanged, with their own representative, and that won't be fair to those constituents. That's nice. Thank you very much, Raji. Thank you, George. So, guys, finally on follow-ups. Last time we were talking also. Now, the Lagos monarch, the Oba Akinolu tells Nigerians to be patient with the president. Be patient. He says, be patient with Tinubu's government. Now, how patient can Nigerians be? The Oba was saying this yesterday afternoon when the president's wife visited him. So Oba Akinolu says, Nigerians, be patient with Tinubu. George, I know you know this man. What's our patient strength? How long can we last on this?
Well, Oba Akinolu is a good man.
Okay,
he's a good man, and I know he has some issues that has risen in the past regarding his political affiliations and political support. And I was in his palace one time a while ago, and but Oba Akinolu is doing what he's supposed to do, because you don't visit Oba Akinolu with empty hands. You don't come to the palace with empty hands. He's a strong man. Therefore, when you visit him, you must visit him well. And when you visit him well, he will say the things that he's supposed to say as a leader in the Yoruba community. So he's doing what he's supposed to do. But whether it makes sense to the people or not is another question. But he's a man that maintains the peace in the West. So so let's listen to him. But the problem is he really saying it because he believes that Asiwaju is doing good? Personally, the problem that I have with all of this is Asiwaju actually doesn't know what to do. That's the major problem. No, he does not. I am quite sure he does not know how to solve this situation that was handed over to him. I don't think he knew how deep the problem were before he entered into the government. And that is what we are fighting for right now. So, it's okay.
Raji, this was what the Oba said yesterday. We should give him time now.
And indeed, he spoke as an elder. You don't start insulting your visitor we are all supposed to make such political statements. But you see, following up on it, I'm sure he'll be telling some truth to the visitor. Okay, look, people are hungry. You see, so there's a political phase and there's a private phase that I'm sure Akiolu will have said, because he himself is not very safe in that area, because the last time there was an invasion of his palace and he had to scale the wall. A whole 80-year-old man scaling the wall so he has to be very careful and he has to be very political. But I'm sure privately he'll be talking to the people. Okay, people are hungry. Do something.
Do something.
Yes.
Yes, we need to.
Can I ask a question, please? Because you see, this is really the issue that we're dealing with. You're dealing with a nation with masses of people, and because it was not prepared for prior to, what do you think needs to be done right now to alleviate the pain and the hunger on the people? See, when the government is scouring and trying to find a solution to appease the public, to give them hope that something is being done, sometimes we condemn it. For instance, people are hungry. Prices of food is so high that people are taking advantage of the inflation or the money situation in Nigeria and the insecurity in Nigeria. So there are so many facets of this particular issue and the problem. What do you think needs to be done? And we're thinking about, we're talking about, if we start importing food, that such and such will happen. It is likely that we can import food to lower the prices of the local production, because they are taking advantage of people. No, but there is no force that is controlling, the market forces that are controlling the price of food. People just, do it how they want to, when they want to. And because they know there is scarcity, they stand their ground and you have to buy it because man must work.
Man must work.
So the question remains, what is it that needs to be done now? And the government is trying the best they know how. Besides the local, internal situation that needs to be dealt with the insecurity, the Fulani oligarchy and their people that are, the herdsmen that are carrying AK-45s and the buffer guns and all that kind of stuff. That's another area. But right now, the government, I believe, is trying the best they can to at least give hope to people.
Give hope to people. George, our regular viewer, Extergen Wireless, thank you for joining every time. He says, I get a sense that Sir George is in touch with real human beings of Nigeria. I'm grateful for that. So what that means is George is saying things practical, real. And Extergen says he's grateful that Sir George is talking like this, because sometimes he will go after Sir George too.
I like that. I love the man. I love the man.
Yeah, that's good. All right, gentlemen. So my own take is the elders of Nigeria should be truthful. There's no need to hide and deceive or somebody's doing wrong or is not doing as much as, and you're saying you're doing well, we'll give you I know. I think the elders should stand up and say, look, people are being power like this, they say. Rajis, go ahead.
Yes.
Rajis,
you don't expect leaders to, the language of the market is different from the language of the palace. You don't expect leaders, elders, to be talking like trade union people.
Hey,
they have their way. They have the way. They can't say publicly. Okay. They can't criticize the government publicly. They will criticize the government privately. That's what gives them a position of respect.
Eldership. Okay. Thank you. That's a good
yes.
one.
An elder should talk like an elder.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but
even the Bible tells you that.
We need them to talk
even
more.
the Bible tells you that in our holy book. It tells you that too. That you cannot rebuke an elder openly like that.
Openly like that. Okay.
Yes. And Asiwaju is an elderly statesman.
Yes, so the elders are speaking probably behind the curtains, and they are telling him what to do. But
yes,
when they come
privately.
out, they will say, give him time. All right, gentlemen, let's have a
Yes,
small break, and we'll be back.
SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerian soul are proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
This is everything you need to marry a Nigerian girl. Her father gave me a list of 39 items which include a live goat. The first place I went was the bulk food market to gather the yam, palm oil, baskets of fruit, and dried fish known as eja osun. And it's not just 1 yam or liter of palm oil, I am buying large quantities. It was pouring rain and I rented boots to make it through the mud, but it is worth it to marry my beautiful bride. In Nigeria, they practice dowry for marriage, paid to the family. In the Yoruba culture, each item is symbolic and not really a payment to the family, but rather proving your worth to marry her. And prove it I did by next heading to the goat market, where I spoke with a house of men to find the meatiest goat. This is the one I picked, and surprisingly, the goat at only $40 is one of the cheapest items on the list. This can't be done in one day, so after the rain cleared, I went to Mushin Main Market to find the kola nut, both bitter and regular, the alligator pepper, the adun, which specifically said I needed to buy plenty, and bottle of raw honey, which symbolizes that our marriage will be sweet. Next, I had to gather biscuits, bulk packs of different drinks, wine, and semen schnapps, as well as a suitcase full of new clothes for my fiancé to prove I can provide for her in the marriage, and lastly, the marriage Bible, as God will always come first. It is possible to pay someone to buy these items, but for me, I wanted the experience myself. Finally, we brought all these items to the family home for the wedding day. It is not easy to marry a Yoruba girl, but my bride is strong, smart, loving, beautiful, and completely worth it.
Viewers, welcome back. Welcome back to SSM Wednesday Global Africa updates. Gentlemen, hope you're there. Yes, some more news coming in. There's something we didn't discuss when it actually happened, but it's still on the burner, so we can talk about it. Supreme Court has granted financial autonomy to local governments in Nigeria. I think that's a good news, George. George, you need to talk about this. As at yesterday, we had that the federal government, the state government, and the local government shared, so far has shared about 1.35 trillion naira in the month of June 2024. So this now makes it possible that local government council in Nigeria can now do their thing. You know, that power is with them. They should now take their own projects, build their own thing. So what do you guys have to say? Local government autonomy. Yes. Yes,
well,
George,
you know, the local government people are what we call the first responders.
Okay.
And when you call them first responders, that means that they are in close proximity to the people that they are governing.
Nice.
If you allow the state to control those type of finances, we also know the Nigerian way. By the time that money gets down to them, a lot has already happened along the way. So now to give them that autonomy to be able to receive what is apportioned to them to solve their local problems, it is going to be a learning experience because this is something that we have not done in a while.
Yes.
Power has been centered in the state. So now all of a sudden, you are now beginning to see the local government people have autonomy to do what they need to do. So now, while you are giving them autonomy, you must also discipline every single one of them, letting them know what is expected of them, how to manage the resources that are given to them, and you have to train them to ensure accountability and responsibility, and to ensure that people across the board within their locales are being affected positively with them having this autonomy. Because it's a different type of government, and I think it is a good thing to do. So now I believe. Go ahead.
Okay, Raji, do you see with George, because some people are saying the local government having this power might not do much in terms of progress. That's some people's thoughts. Go ahead, Raji.
Now, you see, I thought we were a country ruled by a constitution, and we should go by that constitution. The constitutional provision was that there should be a joint account into which local government account monies will be paid. So if there has been some breach at that point, it was not up to up to the Supreme Court to breach the constitution, but to modify to enforce that joint account provision, to ensure that when the monies get to that joint account, the state does not get control of it. Now, going further, you see, the Nigerian constitution is a mishmash of confusion. There's no federal, there's no federation in the world that is composed of, that is three-tier. In the federal constitution of the United States, there are only two tiers of government: the federal and the state. Now the state have control of the local communities that they create. So it's the local state that should create local government. And Tinubu knows that, because when he was governor of Lagos State, he challenged that thing with Obasanjo, and he created 33 other local governments, which he now called local council development areas, CDAs. So he knows it. So what he's doing now is actually a sort of brigandage to take control of local governments from the states and put it in the hands of the federal government. Are we running a federal state or unitary constitution? That is why we should. What the Supreme Court should have done was to enforce that transition to give the joint account provision more strength by ensuring that the state governors do not have control of the monies due to the local governments, and not remove that thing.
From what you're saying, Raji, you're in a totally different. You're coming from a different angle from what George is saying. But
yes, I'm going constitutional.
Yeah, okay, you are saying from the constitution.
Yes.
But somehow, George, okay, before we continue, let's bring in Dr. Godwin Ibe from Moscow, Russia. Dr. Godwin, you're welcome to Wednesday Global Africa. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Good day. Thank you for having me. I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are. Welcome, Dr. Godwin.
Welcome. So, George, do you understand what Raji is saying now? Raji is bringing.
I do.
Now, please let me just conclude. Let me just conclude.
Okay, conclude.
By saying that I'm not removing control of their finances from the local government. No, I'm just going constitutional, so that still, because the local government is a state construct and should be a state construct. Now, giving them money direct from the federal government is like abridging the control of the state.
Okay, but Raji, before
now,
George comes
let me conclude. Let me conclude.
Okay.
If the Supreme Court had enforced that when the monies come to the joint account, which is in the constitution,
Mm-hmm.
the state should not have the power to restrain it, but should pass it on to the local government.
Okay.
Simple.
Okay.
Then
Simple.
there will be no confusion.
Okay. Yes, because it is that in between the states holding on to those accounts, not getting
the states are not supposed to hold on to the account. They are supposed to pass it on to the local government. And there's an instrument that they have to use to pass it on. That is why the Supreme Court should have enforced.
Okay.
But not
Godwin, do you understand what we're saying?
Sorry. The Supreme Court should not amend the Constitution. Constitutional amendment has a process. What the Supreme Court have done is to amend the Constitution. It is not right.
But it can be adjusted in an intelligent way, you know, without violating the Constitution, but
without violating it.
Some form of no, I'm saying even with the court judgment, it can still be adjusted in a way that is smart. For example, by including two-factor authentication, you know, like for example, the local government getting a certificate of approval from the state government before funds are transferred, for example, directly to them. So the funds are still the federal government. Every particular period, for example, every quarter, the LGA can get a certificate of clearance from the state government to receive funds from the federal government directly. In this case, the local government will be working hard to get that clearance. It will still be under control of the state government, but there will be no bureaucracy and extra legwork or bottleneck in the process of fund transfer. And I think, and then you can also measure how often, how soon, how quick are LGAs getting that clearance to understand if the state government is really cooperating with them or trying to hinder the process. So you can also get a feedback instead of, because when you hand it over to the state government, you have no feedback from the federal level. But by introducing this process, you're reducing both bottleneck and at the same time getting important data on how the federal local governments are doing and how they are cooperating with the state government. So I think by removing it's a good way just to add a little bit of two-factor authentication to this fund transfer.
Gentlemen, also let's take note that the Nigerian context in some of these bureaucratic decision is quite different. We can't compare Nigeria with America, Raji. What happened is the local government councils and regions have complained of funds not coming to them because state government hijack those funds. And, you know, most times these local government chairmen, councillors are answerable. You know, they are like little men that are answerable to these lord-like governors. So the money comes in, the governor will tell you, no, wait, I'll give you.
We're still waiting for it. We haven't received it yet.
We haven't received it.
Yeah. So let's not compare
along the way.
Yeah. So another way that this can be done, even if the federal government pays into the state government account, it should be in a different way where those money are not touchable by the state, and then the local government are given a certificate to go and withdraw.
Okay.
So the federal government gives them directly that certificate so that they will know it has been, the money transfer has been made, and they go to the state. Now, if that check is now bounced, then the state government will have something to answer. So that I think that's another way to do it. But
very logical.
Yeah, you cannot not do anything.
Thank you. Okay, that's it. Viewers, we're talking about this new autonomy, financial power that have been given to local government councils in Nigeria. Let's see how that will work for them, for the local government. Guys, let's come to something also that is looking funny. The Binance executive came to court yesterday on wheelchair. He's still facing laundry charges by the EFCC. And it sounds strange that we're still doing this with these Binance people. George, I thought by now they would have gotten over all of this. Going back and forth, what's your take on that? So that's the man, Gambarian. Gambarian was weeks into the courtroom yesterday on wheelchair. And we're still talking, money laundering, Is there any update on that, guys? Anything you have on this?
I'm not quite sure I fully understand all the intricacies in this particular case. It has so many tentacles and many angles. Wasn't that the man that escaped from Nigeria?
Yes, and was brought back, and now bringing with wheelchair and all this thing. And one time he also said, might be a ploy.
Might be a ploy for sympathy.
Okay, let's move on.
What crime did he commit exactly? Is there any proven track record that he actually, made away with some money or stole money or fraudulently transferred money or helped people to transfer money? Have they proven any of those things? Because you know what, with EFCC, they jack you first and then start looking for excuses to keep you or why they should keep you. So I'm not quite, no, that's what that's the problem there. They arrest you and then start looking for reasons why they should either keep you or hold you, to those charges, or start looking for charges against you. Which is like putting the cart before the horse,
Okay.
So
Godwin, yes, thank you, George. Godwin, what do you have on that? The man is actually being held on money laundering. EFCC is saying he laundered money through that cryptocurrency firm, Binance.
It's the manner of cryptocurrency makes the claims even doubtful and more likely false than true. Because the premise on of cryptocurrency is the anonymity of transactions.
That's it.
Any bank account. So how you know this without even, it's not like our intelligence agencies are like top notch to be tracking cryptocurrency wallets all around, and then they should release it to the public if they really believe. I just think that this is political. It seems political.
That's right. Exactly.
Definitely political, and he's learning from do I say the best? How we come in with people have all sort of illnesses when their court trials emerge. But I think I also it shows another kind of weakness. He didn't do this alone. His company is not necessarily a Nigerian, it's a Western. It only shows the way with which it's strange with which Western government abandon their people. I've seen it more and more and more and more so. Whether it's their politicians, their diplomats, their top business executives, they just pretend that, we're not involved. We are watching from afar. But they have been involved from the get-go. This is for many of them a strategic company. And you just I'm not very impressed with the defense, with the consular defense.
Thank you. So also in that line of financial issues, we also hear that yesterday in court, the court declined Emefiele, the former CBN governor. He requested to travel abroad for medical checkup, but it was declined yesterday. So do you think he was intentionally declined because they think he will jackpot from there, like they say, George?
Well, we have doctors in Nigeria, and this is part of that problem that we are suffering. The man is he's still being held. He's not been completely released. He's on bail, so he cannot get his passport and travel. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter how the case is, but the court is doing their job by holding him back here. Any country that you go to that is a country that is operating right will not allow somebody who is being charged with such a thing to travel outside of the country. And that when they travel, they can decide to take asylum somewhere else. So and the man with all the charges against him and everything, as much as I am basically not in complete support of those charges because he's an scapegoat. We need to get the people that work with him, including our former president, who knew exactly what was going on, who supported all his, conversations and everything that he did prior to. So the point is this: I don't think he should go. We have doctors in Nigeria. Let him be treated in that. Let's fly in the best doctors. You got enough money. Let's fly in the best doctors. Dr. Ibe is there. Dr. Ibe can be, sent. Let them send a private jet to Dr. Ibe to come back home and take care of the man.
Will you be able to treat him? What do you say about that?
He's one of the best doctors out there.
Yeah.
I think Nigeria is saturated with so many talented doctors, and that they definitely don't need my help. But I would like to say that while he's done a lot of wrong, I am usually against double standards.
Okay.
I'm usually against double standard, and I don't like making someone being made a scapegoat when it's a whole cartel, a whole ring. And this is what I don't like. It's either you let everybody go and you seize their assets and try to ameliorate the situation by seizing as much asset as possible, returning to the national budget and to citizenry, so that they can gain from their corrupt practices of these people or regain back their money. Or you punish everybody to the latter, everybody who is involved. But you're just making one person a scapegoat. I'm usually against those all forms of double standard.
It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong.
So we are against double standard. In SSM, this is what we're all saying. Treat the man as, bring all those accomplices, all those that have been part of this whole thing to be tried to alongside. Gentlemen, let's come to small news, African news, so that we balance it up. But in a minute. Yes, we are back. Rwanda has done election. Yesterday, we saw the Rwandan former president still continues. That's President Kagame. He was able to get like 99% of the votes now to bring him to another term. Let me bring it. Okay. So, gentlemen, did you follow the election in Rwanda? Was really hot, but what I saw was there weren't very strong contenders. Three other parties that were supposed to stand were at the last minute removed from the ballot paper, and so he gave him a smooth slide. So Kagame is back on. He still continues as the president of Rwanda. Raji, you follow the African updates. Let's hear you.
I believe that I don't know whether I should congratulate him or not, but I believe that at a certain stage, African heads of state or every head of state of any country, including Russia, should start to prepare a successor for the post, because if there's a sudden death, for instance, because we can never predict, if there's sudden death, for instance, it sets up a lot of confusion in the politics. I think after 3 terms, Kagame should realize that, look, let me prepare a successor, and then you should groom a group of successors. It's like we do in Rotary. When you have a president, a reigning president, there's a president nominee, there's a vice president. So there are 3 layers of succession, so that succession is smooth without rancor.
Very good. So Paul is back. George, he won. Yes, 99% of the votes.
99% of the votes, and most of the opposition, prior to or within or about the election was disqualified for some reason. So that's what the power hungry is. Where the man has about 300 and something million pounds from UK that he has to take care of, because they paid him money to house a lot of Africans free money, and the man is not returning it back because there is no, they didn't have any contingency plan that if we don't bring anybody, you return the money. So the Rwanda is, don't you see how green? And
the person that gave him has left. And the person that gave him has left power.
Yes.
Wow, so, I wish I were in his position.
It's a beautiful one. It's a beautiful
one.
The
prime minister that gave him have left position, they've kicked him out.
That's it. And then you can't see the signature cannot be, you know, faked back. So that's what it is.
But they did some things with that money anyway. They built houses.
So those houses that they built, will now be used for other purposes. You know, so that's what it is.
So Paul struck a good deal with that.
Yes.
That project.
No, but I think one thing we should look is that what Raji said is spot on. Everyone, we need to always leaders always need to groom successors. Totally agree. But it's another example of how in this country this rotational system of government hasn't really worked well for Rwanda, and a lot of people have confidence in him as their leader. He has very high approval ratings, and he's known for bringing in stability and prosperity. And at least most people in the country attribute stability and prosperity to him. So you can criticize all you want, but he has the results. He has the real engagement of people. The opposition have no what you call they have no net effect. They have no ability to even come together to form a sizable opposition, because he has actually the backing of the people. So it's a double-sided coin.
He's doing well. So
thank you.
Thank you, guys. He's doing very, very well.
Let's begin to round up.
You know what? My take on this is this. The man is, you know, that the country is shouting his praises. You understand? And as much as he might muscle him, you know, he's muscling his way into that position by stifling the opposition and stuff like that, you know, but yet he is still doing good. We haven't found any gal in him or any complaints about him in his government or any of those things. And from where Rwanda started 24 years ago, after the genocide that took place, to today, Rwanda is doing good. It's doing better than Kenya. It's doing better than Tanzania. It's doing better than Uganda. It's doing better than most of these other places. And there is at least a level of peace and prosperity within the people. Nobody's complaining about hunger. So look at how green the place is.
No geopolitical power wants problem with him. He knows how to balance foreign policy. No one. If he's good with Russia, it's good with the West.
So indirectly, you people are saying this could be some leadership model for Africa.
It's a leadership.
Somebody doing well. Maybe we could just allow that
model. But an example.
Let's look at Malaysia. Sorry, can I go on? Let's look at Malaysia with their former president. Even after he retired, they had to go and call him out of retirement at 98 or something.
Yes, that's true. What's his name again? Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. Our time is actually up, we can't go without saying this.
Let us never in SSM, as we say, let us ever not be deceived or gullible to think that, for example, one system of government works for everybody, especially the Western system of democracy. It really doesn't work everywhere.
No, but we've said that. Yes,
I understand.
That's a good thing to point out.
I am part of that.
Yes, you guys remember even Dr. Schengen, when he was here, we used to say it.
We used to say it doesn't work for everybody.
Yes, the fact that it worked for the West, maybe it's not our system. And now you people are all attesting to Rwanda. You see, Rwanda is doing well, and it's one man Thank you very much. Guys, we have more things to talk about, but let's go and come back on Friday. Friday, we'll be talking the new senator that will be the vice for Trump. We'll be talking Thailand. Thailand says they are expanding their visa entry rule. They are also adding about 93 countries that can come to their country for free. 93, Thailand. And we'll be talking also the United States that says they are supplying some helicopters, the AHIZ attack helicopters. So you guys be there Friday. Hopefully we'll be able to stock some of this. So thank you, George, for coming. Thank you, Godwin. Thank you. And thank you for that last comment you just made. I hope the viewers had that. Here in SSM, we are not for one style of leadership. I mean, we can. It works for somebody, it might not work for another person. It will work for. It won't work for another person. It might work for somebody else. So let's go home with that take from Godwin. He just pulled the plug. So on that note, I want to say bye-bye to everybody until we come again next on Wednesday.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.